very pleased to welcome Mike Morgan, Head of Adjudications at TDS, here at the Landlord Law Conference. Welcome, Mike. Nice to see you again.
And you. Hello.
Now, you're actually a sponsor here today, and this is very much in keeping with your culture of education, isn't it?
The message we're trying to get across to the industry is that although landlords and tenants might think of TDS as a scheme really being about dispute resolution, that's probably the most common way they'll come across it. We feel there's much more that we can do for the industry to inform, educate and try and help people avoid those disputes in the first place. So forums like this are really important for us.
And have you been meeting some good people today?
Yes, I've already met quite an interesting spread of landlords. We've had some who've, big portfolios, well used to doing what they do, understand things very well. We've had some other landlords who think they understand things very well, already found out a few things they thought they did properly and they're not, and equally some very new landlords who've just fallen into being accidental landlords or bought a property as an investment, not perhaps sure where to start. So for them today's a really good way of getting information.
Absolutely, because you're very keen on educating landlords to set the tenancy up at the beginning to avoid problems and complications down the line.
Yes, that's right. And a lot of the cases we see, people lose disputes or come unstuck with the legislation because they don't understand the really important things they need to do right at the beginning. You can perhaps understand why, because they're busy setting up the tenancy, busy getting on with the next job. But we say it's important just to have a little bit of a breather at the beginning and just think, what if this goes wrong? What if there is a problem later on? How am I going to cross that bridge when I come to it? Start thinking about those things now and you'll be in a much better position if those things happen later on.
Absolutely, absolutely. It must be great for you to actually meet landlords face to face as well. I know you run your own events, but
Yes.
This is reaching out to a different group of people, isn't it?
It is, and it's really great to actually come out into the marketplace and actually talk to landlords. It works both ways, they can get a view from the coalface from us, but we get to talk to them and actually understand, make sure we understand what it is that they're struggling with or the sorts of issues that cause them problems.
Indeed.
So it's a two-way flow.
Now, 1st of April, I know it's April Fool's Day, but things are changing in the tenancy deposit world, aren't they?
Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about what's happening?
Yeah, from the 1st of April we have a new contract with the Department for Communities and Local Government to operate the scheme. So time for us to renew new contracts, slightly new rules that will apply to us. The majority of things aren't different. We're making some subtle changes to our membership rules, and probably the biggest one is that we are making a more relaxed approach to clauses in tenancy agreements. We used to be quite strict about having particular clauses in tenancy agreements and making a bit of an issue of it where landlords or agents didn't have those. What we're saying for the future is we will recommend the clauses that we think landlords should have. It's up to them whether they use the clauses we recommend, it's up to them whether they don't. They can carry on using the clauses we recommended they use in the past. It's to give them flexibility. What we're saying is when we come to adjudicate, really and truly what we should be looking at is the merits of the evidence and the proper argument. Whether somebody's got the right small print in their tenancy agreement is not the big issue. There's still some clauses obviously that are really important, so clauses that say what the deposit can be used for, what the tenant's obligations are, but we're trying to say let's simplify things and get back to grassroots, which is really what is the dispute about, who's going to win the money, landlord or tenant, and what's the answer to the problem.
Fantastic. Well, I'd just like to thank you for supporting and sponsoring the Landlord Law Conference and making it possible to bring this fantastic education and all these speakers to landlords. So thank you very much for doing that on behalf of the property community.
Well, as always, it's a pleasure to help me. We're glad that we can be here.
Thank you, Mike. I hope you have a good day.
Thank you.
We've been talking to Mike Morgan, Head of Adjudications at TDS, and we should also just say that in April we're going to be running a themed month on property tribes, totally focusing on tenancy deposit protection and making sure that you have all the information you need, and TDS is going to be powering that month and joining with us to deliver content and videos, so do watch out for that in April, and we really look forward to working with you, Mike, on that.
Thank you very much.
It's going to be a good one.
See you soon.